Over the border, the first thing that our fellow travelers get into was the exchange rate for money. The kids loved the camera.
Why don't you wait? No, what am I going this way? I go this way.
This little guy reminded me of Lawrence of Arabia.
Not good. That's pretty quiet. Are you taking pictures? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's quiet. He's actually working. Is that... That's incredible.
These little kids were our first encounter with the people of Afghanistan.
Yeah, man, good, mister. Hello, mister. Hey, you want to see
These kids never saw a video or film camera. The only camera that they were familiar with was snapshot cameras, so they would stand still for the camera.
You got to be move around, jump and walk and everything. Oh, you make fire? He's cracking his nuts. Cracking nuts, I give you a kick right in between the legs. Oh, bakshish you want?
Bakshish is a single word that means, please give me a present.
Mada Sharif, yes, you know? Mada Sharif? You? Jim told?
What's your name? Come on, tell me your name.
Thomas.
Thomas? No.
Get a picture of us getting high early in the morning. Yeah, with these little cats. Only he can do it. He knows how. You don't know how.
One of the attractions for the Western visitors was the easy availability of marijuana and hashish. In Afghanistan at the time, it was not illegal. In fact, hashish was used as currency.
What's far out is that thing has... Now, as we place the hash into the bowl, we're making sure that it fills it up completely. It's really green. That's that gold? Yeah. You like that? Don't put your fingers on it. Don't.
We are now between Herat and Kandahar at this beautiful desert settlement. The old man and his son attend their herd of camels. These black tents that you see in the distance are the homes of these nomads of the desert. Continuing on our journey south, we're about 175 miles from Kandahar, Afghanistan's most southern city. Throughout the journey, we were plagued by brake problems, and we had to stop in this little town, and they had these children that were employed working and fixing our brakes. From Turkey to India, you would see elaborately decorated trucks like this. In most Muslim countries, people hate to have their picture taken, but in Afghanistan, they loved it. Herat is one of the most ancient cities of Central Asia. With its temperate climate, beautiful gardens, and high culture, it was once an important stop along the Silk Route to India. It is also the site of some of the world's most spectacular medieval Islamic architecture. Alexander the Great, in 330 BC, passed through it on his way to India. The Greek historian Herodotus spoke of Herat as being the breadbasket of the region. As I looked at these scenes, I felt like I was being transported back into the 13th century. The children spent their time playing wild and innocently, never knowing about the horrors that awaited them when they grew up, never imagining that the sticks would be replaced with guns, trying to defend their homeland. Admittedly, Afghanistan was a strange place, but it was also a very charming place with good people, hard-working, independent, and cherishing their freedom. This is baklavar, a Middle Eastern treat that is like cake dipped in a sugary syrup. This was the typical size of the shops then. Our merchant is measuring off rice for a customer. Some might condemn Afghanistan for the child labor that it had going on back then. But these children were out in the sunshine, everything was peaceful, society was intact, and they were happy. Here in the bakery, they're making the traditional bread of Afghanistan called pinj kilk bread. The children work along with the adults. All the family hangs out just for the good company. The ovens that they used were round, and they would stuff the bread on the sides of the oven below.
Anthony thought he would do something good and give the kids some candy. But as you will see, things got a little bit out of control.
Here is the son of a carpenter helping his dad. Even in 1972, the women were wearing burqas, but they were not required to. This was a typical street in Herat, and you could just sense the peacefulness that existed. This is the Great Friday Mosque, built over 800 years ago during the Timurid dynasty. It was only 100 years earlier that the religion of Islam was introduced by the Arabs into Afghanistan. The Prophet Muhammad said that the ink of scholars is more precious than the blood of martyrs. Since Islam does not allow any kind of idols in its temples, the craft of tile making reached its pinnacle of beauty on the outside of the mosques. At the time, these people were living the tenets of Islam. Their faith was a real one. Five times a day, they would pray. Usually, in Islamic countries, infidels are not allowed in the mosques. But in Afghanistan, I was. Afghanistan is one of the few countries on earth that has actually had a population decrease, and that population decrease has been brought about through war and famine. Look at this guy. After the war started, mines were placed all over Afghanistan, and many children lost their legs. 1/3 of all the people that you see in this movie don't exist anymore.